Alcyon. Going to be our next map. Top right, we have Byun. And bottom left, we have Clem. Now, you know, actually, here, I do have to say one thing. There are, we were talking before about how soccer, like, the barrier to entry is extremely low, right? StarCraft has that too. It's called Protoss, right? Where, like, you don't need anything, you don't need to be good at anything, and you can do it. And that's sick. All right, so double gas coming up for Clem right away. Byun going command center first. Not something you see very often. Kind of cool. I gotta say, I can't even remember the last time I saw command center first in TVT. I'm sure there must have been a time that I saw it at some tournament I was casting, but it's not coming to me. So, yeah, I really wonder what this is going to look like from Byun. Clem is going to scout it very quickly, which is going to be super helpful that he can streamline his build to counter it. So he sees the command center, goes up the ramp, sees the timing. Like, I mean, I guess you got to go bunker right away here, right? Just rallying Reapers up should make it a little bit difficult to deal with, shouldn't it? Okay, right now, Clem is trying to get a bunker up here to be super, super annoying. And his SCV is bouncing like it's a StarCraft 1 SCV, man. Damn. Just absolutely unable to cheat here. Oh, get wrecked! Get wrecked! Get wrecked! What? Dude, I can't believe you didn't walk down the ramp to get that kill. Literally can't believe it. All right, so looks like the low ground belongs to Clem right now. And in fact, he's going after this Marine as well. Could it be that command center first, the reason we never see it is because it dies to one Reaper? Could that be? Possibly. Dude, that was a good grenade. Oh, he's going to lose this, though. Another Marine's going to pop out and flank. Oh! Juked! All right, Clem is back up once again. Another Reaper. Brings up the other one. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's how you might have to leave it. I'm not sure much more is going to get done here. You know, having a hard time even making SCVs. I wonder if making the orbital is right. Maybe making SCVs and popping them into the command center immediately would be a better play. Like, look, this one pops out. Are you just going to lose it? Well, I guess not in this case. But, yeah, another one could have. It could have happened, LOL. Yeah, so I think Clem's harassment's pretty much over. Byun is still up 3 workers right now. And that lead should grow still, since he's going to be making 2 SCVs at a time while this orbital makes. Cyclones on both sides. Byun, you know, did he actually get a big advantage with this? I'm actually trying to kind of figure that out right now. Because it felt like Clem was like countering it reasonably well, but you can't scoff at 6 SCVs or 5 SCVs. That's the difference right now. Third command center coming up for Clem. Both of them going across the map with double cyclone drops. We also have the Hellion plus 2 Reapers here for Clem. All right, here we go. Cyclone drop into the natural. Dealing some pretty reasonable damage, but Clem doing the same. Really looking for that kill. Very, very nice from Clem to secure that. Auto turret goes down, but we'll just pick that up. Seems like Clem is not doing quite as well. Feels like Byun is taking the advantage here. I think his micro of the Cyclones is just a bit stronger. So that is a pretty heavy amount of damage. Byun may be taking us into a game 5. I tell you, these finals, very oftentimes they're like this, where it seems like it's going to end quick, and then it's like, okay, we have equalized. And that certainly seems to be the case here. Oh, dude, this Liberator's so good. What a good Liberator. Yeah. Oh, man. You forgot that those can hit air. Oh! Really quick dealing with Clem there. Brings his other Cyclone. Oh, my God, dude. Look at this. Wow. Perfectly matched. So where are we at? 48 workers against 33. I think that's about as much as you need to know. To be fair, Clem has that third command center already up, so he can triple mule as well as make 3 SCVs at a time. So he can actually catch up in that reasonably well. One thing I want to mention is that Clem is adding in Vikings right now, so kind of building towards that longer-term army to grind back into the game with. Some more harassment here with the auto turrets. Not even trying to pull. Wow. Actually, really reasonable damage there as well. Byun going to do the same. Both of them having the same types of ideas here. A lot of damage being dealt here to Clem. Clem having a very hard time keeping that worker count up. The Vikings going to chase this all the way home. Oh, dude. Ugh. Those, like, I think Byun is just going to walk across the map, continue to apply pressure, and Clem isn't going to be able to keep his third landed, I think. Like, Clem's army is still a reasonable size. In fact, he's actually the one that's trying to attack, which is kind of funny. They're at about the same size armies right now. But look, double Raven here against single Raven. We're close to the rally point of Byun. Doesn't make sense that Clem should be able to attack here, honestly. I do like the Vikings, though. The Vikings are a good idea. Try to zone out those Ravens a bit better. All right, the Vikings really paying for themselves here. Killing off the Vikings here of Byun. Putting a ton of damage on that command center as well. So he's trying to decide what to do right now. He does have the 3 tanks. Like, he could try to push some tanks, but I don't think it's the right play once again. Clem right now is within 11 workers, and he's actually mining off 3 bases. So Clem is actually starting to gain an advantage in some ways in this game. It felt like Byun was really outdoing him, but I feel like you can see, like, Byun got a very good build order off, and then he actually microed his drop a little bit better as well. But I feel like you can see that Clem is, like, maybe just with the basics a little bit better, a little bit stronger. All right, so the setup right now, Byun did end up expanding to a different location. He's breaking through some of the rocks out in the map. 1-1 going to be finishing up here on both sides relatively similarly. A little bit more harass as Byun tries to take his additional base. Very, very annoying. I would have loved to see a auto turret force that cancel. Byun moving across the map. Clem has actually like done such a good job of catching up in this game. Look at that. Close enough in workers, similar army supplies. His upgrades slightly slower, but they're going to be finishing. Byun roaming around the map a little bit here. Don't forget he does have that 4th base on the way. Clem stims forward here. Doesn't actually get much of a catch because Byun has plenty of Marines there. And in fact, his +1 finished, his +1 armor before Clem's. So Clem is about to have that as well. So right now, Clem is going into a defensive stance with his tanks, but boosting across the map with some medevacs. Ooh, Byun catches it right there. Very nice. We will be able to eat that up, of course. A little bit of Viking Wars here for that air dominance. Clem will be able to take that pretty easily. All right, the tanks get absolutely wrecked there. And look at this. He actually comes in from the other side, but the armor shred really messes up Clem's engage there. He actually had enough where it looked like he was going to be able to take that. But he did pound all those tanks. So big mistake here for Byun, losing so many siege tanks. Adds his 2nd factory now. I think that's pretty important to start refilling that a bit. Big attack in here from Byun. Damn, quite the arc there against Clem with the disable on top of it as well. Clem has to back up. Clem getting a little bit low in supply here. His siege tank count actually not that far off Byun's. A lot better than I thought it was going to end up being. We do have that additional +2 attack for Byun, which really helps us swing those battles as well. Really heavy Marine production, 2 tanks at a time. Clem going to be in a hard spot from here on out. Well, I guess he's been in a hard spot several times this game already, to be fair. Well, it feels like Byun right now is leaning on Clem. He's really kind of pushing him, you know, keeping him busy over here. I feel like Clem needs to either clear this army suddenly or get something else on the map. And it doesn't feel like he's really prepared to do either. The sensor tower, of course, we see there catching this. I kind of like the spread of his Marines, though. It feels like if Byun screws up a push, Clem might be able to catch a bunch of units and get some sort of advantage there. Now, Byun's stimming up with a huge amount of Marines, but there's actually plenty for Clem to push it back. Now, the siege tank there, they both get picked off. There is one more in the back that's getting some good quality hits. Both sides are on 2-2 upgrades, but the siege tank does make a big difference there, as well as the very wide arc there from Byun. Very close in supplies once again. Same amount of siege tanks, which is kind of insane to see right now. More medevacs out for Clem, so a little bit more sustainability. But he is a bit contained. Not that that's making a big difference, because Byun has one more command center landed, but nothing added. All right, Clem's just sniping kind of a lone tank there. Byun is rotating back and forth. He is making some more medevacs. I feel like really what Byun needs right now is a second starport. Like, he has not done well retaining starport units this game. I feel like the second one would do a lot for him right now. He does get another base up and mining. 2 more command centers have finished. He's making orbitals out of them at the moment. Clem finally starting to push out in the map a little bit. Ooh, that's not a good catch. Ooh. Well, I thought for sure Byun was actually going to stim into that. I'm like, oh, that's bad for Clem. A lot of missile turrets being added on now. Byun is getting ready for a massive draw. Ooh, catches a lot of Byun Marines. Byun actually takes the bad end of that engage, but does have his own little drop. No, that gets completely denied. Byun having to pull back. Look at this. Clem is taking a supply lead now. He's just kind of pushing through. Byun has these stifled tanks, but not huge amounts of them. Clem stimming through on both sides right now. Byun does start to win the left, but Clem wins the right. Push of Clem continues onwards. Byun somehow down 20 supply now. All right, a push in. Going to be able to kill a command center maybe here. Byun pushing back with everything he's got, and honestly, it is enough. Look at that. That he pulls back to his siege tanks, but there's no Marines here, so this could be problematic. Okay, he is going to pull back completely. Definitely good to see. Gold base up and running right now for Clem, expanding the bottom right as well. Byun looking around for more things to do with his Marines. Forces to cancel there. Good job staying active. Clem going to try to push this all back. Clear up this side. And so for as far as this game right now, yeah, okay, so we do have +3 finishing for Byun. +2 vehicle attacks finishing here for Clem. Clem has retained his air units a lot better throughout the game. So I do feel like he's got an edge here. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god, 10 Vikings, 7 medevacs against just 6 medevacs. That really shows it. In fact, 12 tanks against 7 tanks. Clem is absolutely at an advantage at this point. Yeah, I don't know about this. You know, this is, I think, where Byun gets a lot weaker in TVT. It's like he's running around. He has so many Marines, and he's trying to break these positions, but it's so incredibly hard. The tanks are super, super, super efficient. And look at this setup as well. You might have to move one of those a little bit further back. Byun not guarding his tanks. He's killing rocks, losing all his tanks on the high ground here. See, he has enough bio to kill those Marines. Imagine if he leaves some with the tanks instead of just attacks rocks. Oh, this is a nice move. Very decisive from Byun. Picking off as much as he can. Pulls back, gets a good engage once again. But look at this. The Vikings just railing through his medevacs. Couple tanks coming up as well. Clem trying to figure out if he can break this at all. I mean, if you get those medevacs, obviously the Marines are going to fight a lot worse. Oh, a Liberator there to help out as well. That's definitely good. And Byun pushing in, thinking he has a decisive advantage here. Going to siege up behind. Liberator setting up. Oh my god, it looks like Clem is going to be able to clear that as well. No, the 2 tanks remain, actually. He does lose the Liberator as well. Gold base is done for. What a crazy game. Byun has done a lot. Look at that. 23 medevacs have died to 3. Holy crap. All right, Liberator just going to fly on by, maybe go harass a base. Still, we have much higher army supply here for Clem. Don't forget, a lot of it is in Vikings, so that doesn't mean he can just go out and take and engage immediately. Going to set up this Liberator. Kind of annoying. The Marines are here. They'll be able to deal with it. Three Liberators at a time. Liberator range coming up for Clem. Looks like he wants to start pushing with that air advantage. You know, that's why you really want more Vikings than your opponent, so that you can push down their tanks with your Liberators. It's the only, you know, if you have tanks covering the range of Marines against Liberators, then all you need is to cover them from the sky. Well, I guess technically there are some other plays that can be made. You know, obviously you can... like try a Thor or something, but that isn't going to be good in a situation like this. Thor's not going to be that useful. All right, setting up with those Liberators, trying to push everything back. Gets one tank with them already. You got to be patient with this now. Look at that. Sets up the Liberator range on the side. So he goes a little bit too close there, a little tiny bit. You have to inch up everything kind of together. All right, just going to dive in. Doesn't want to wait here. Spend some Marines to speed up the process a bit. Byun stimming so quickly to the other side of the map. Clem with a nice counterattack in there as well. A lot of tanks coming up and sieging, but Byun is just diving absolutely everywhere. I think he's going to get cleaned there. Yeah, looks like it. Going to be able to kill off this base, but this is mostly mined out, so it's not the end of the world necessarily. Clem killed a base during this time as well. Byun getting very low on workers, but has a big army at the moment. 69 Marines. Nice. Byun is, you know, I like that he's running around with this big group, like zoning pretty hard. Because the army of Clem, like, he doesn't have as many Marines. And he's never going to have as many Marines because that's what Byun is basically playing here. So Byun is playing around with, like, way more mobility. Whereas it's a more cost-efficient comp from Clem. So as long as Clem kind of stays calm and moves around and cleans things up, he should be in good shape. That is a lot of siege tanks. You don't want to stim into that. Oh my god. Byun losing so much here. Tries to kill the tanks, but you can see that that is absolutely not going to work. Mass Liberator coming out to kill his tanks as well. And Byun with very little left after that. Still just making Marines. Marines and medevacs. You can see that cost efficiency just go way towards Clem now. You know, and this is what I was talking about when we started this series, why I'm not a big fan of Byun's TVT. He really makes the Marine block try to fit through every shaped hole. Oof. Well placed. GG. And that means that Clem is going to pick it up. Definitely a better series from our Texan Terran. Big cheers to him for winning yet another NA Cup.